Hi guys, hi, how's it going? How y'all doing today? Hopefully today finds you well. Today I am doing my update for my project Pan. This is a project that I have going on my channel. It's year long and I usually have 10 items in rotation and we just are trying to finish the products. This is my completionist project here on my channel. So everything rolled into this is a product that I am trying to finish in my collection because it's the oldest, because I just don't want it anymore, because I have a backup of it for whatever reason. I hope that you're here for it. This is a super fun project to have. I've been doing Project Pan for completionist project pans for a while now, and I mean, it's super fun. It's a lot of fun. So I hope that you're here for it. And if you are, please keep on watching. For those of you new here, hi, my name is Donna. I'm a lover of all things high-end, colorful beauty and self-care. Ultimately, this is my self-care. I enjoy coming out here and talking to you about all the things in my makeup collection, my self-care collection, my beauty product collection overall, and I hope that you like it as much as I like it. If so, you've found the right place to be, and if you're not subscribed, I hope that you'll want to subscribe before you go. With that said, let's roll into this project pan. I mean, it's not super exciting. It's not. This isn't one that I have anything rolling out from, spoiler alert, but I do think that I have some really great progress to share, and I think that we will see quite a few things rolling out in the next couple months. Let's talk about it. All right. So this is, again, completionist project pan. This is my update for August. And I'm really super excited about it, even though I won't be rolling anything out today, so nothing new is rolling in. And that's sometimes the funnest part, but sometimes you just gotta know that you're gonna hit these walls, right? Where you maybe didn't use something enough, or you maybe just wanted a break from it, and that's totally okay. And as much as I was using, a couple of these items, they're just not rolling out this month, but I do think that we will see them roll out very, very shortly. And I'm just going to go through them with you. We'll start with the products that we rolled in first, up until the product that we rolled in last month. And I always, for whatever reason, accidentally shake this right before I come to this video. I think it's probably because this is the foundation that I put on right before I come to this video, but this is the Dior Face and Body Foundation. This foundation has been in my collection for a very long time. I think currently the oldest foundation that I have in my collection, and it has been in my project pan since I think about this time last year. I do wrap up my project pans every year, but then I start a new one the following month, and usually will bring in products that didn't finish in the last project pan for the previous year. This one rolled into project pan 2024, and then I rolled it back into project pan 2025 in January. In January, when we rolled it in, it weighed 37.7 grams of product. Last month it weighed 29.25 grams of product, and this month it weighs 25.75 grams of product, for a decrease in volume of 3.5 grams, which I think is pretty standard. This is obviously not my shade, so it is a foundation that I have to mix with other foundations. This is where we're at though, and I think that you can see like the line that I got to put on the bottle this month versus other months was so much further away from the line before it, and I think that is legitimately because I have worn this every single day that I've worn makeup this month. I have worn makeup 19 days this month, and every day this was a part of my makeup routine, and it was the only one. I did have up until last month the Natasha Denona Foundation X Plus in here as well, so they were kind of sharing the limelight. This month it's just this one. So I do think, I mean, we are here, y'all. So I do think that this part of the bottle is so much smaller than this part of the bottle. So I do think that we may have an empty next month. And that excites me because this has been in my project pan for the longest time. So there's that. Not rolling out, but I do think that we will see it roll out next month. Who wants to place bets? I have quite a few. items in here that I think could potentially roll out next month. The next thing also brought in January was my Laneige lip treatment. This is something I got in FabFitFun. It's also something that I can't link below for whatever reason. I can't find it, so I have been linking a Laneige similar product to this. It's got the little like scooper thingamajigger for you to scoop it out of here, but I don't hardly ever use that. I just use my finger. I think that you can see that we're starting to deplete along the edges of this because I have really been trying to focus along those edges to kind of get it all back down into the center of the thing. I do think that this still has a long life left in it. I do think that we probably honestly won't even see this gone next year at this time, but I have made significant progress on this throughout the time frame that it's been in my project pan. I do think that this was in last year's project pan as well. In January when we rolled this in, it weighed 39.29 grams of product. Last month it weighed 38.04 grams of product, and this month it's weighing 37.45 grams of product. There was a point in time this month where my lips were really, really chapped and sore and like really bad because they had been sunburned, so they had blistered and they were scabby. It was really gross. I couldn't film during that time, but I was using this as the only lip product that was on my lips. So I did go through quite a bit of this during that time, but I only used 0.59 grams of volume as far as the product goes. So I feel like there should have been more use, but again, it's one of those products that literally takes next to nothing. You just dip your finger in and what's on your finger is plenty for both lips for when you're using it. But I was using it so much, so I had hoped that we would see more progress on that. I think visually I can see more progress on it, but as far as the weight goes, it's not seeing as much progress there. But this component is rather thick. It is pretty hefty. I do think that the component is a large portion of the weight of that product. The next thing I have also rolled in January is the Makeup by Mario Sculpt Stick. This is what we're looking like currently. I think that you can see this has got quite a bit of change from last month, and I am not really sure why, except for like I think I've got a little bit of like side pan like right in this area. I hope that you guys can see that. And that wasn't the case last time I was using this. It did like burrow right down into the center, and I melted it back so that it was flat across the whole component. I don't think that there's enough of this left to even worry about flattening it across the whole component. I love seeing the side pan there, but I also think that we've probably got a good 3 or 4 more months. So that I would be willing to bet this lasts throughout the rest of the year, maybe even into next year a slight bit. I can't even remember what shade it's in, even though the actual component is in my empties bin. This is the second component that I've put it into. So you all know, if you've been around, you know the story to it. I do think that this will be gone this year, and it's really exciting, the progress that I'm seeing in it, but I know that we've still got a long time to go with it. We rolled this in January with 44.96 grams of product. This is a pretty hefty component with a metal lid and a glass, bowl of sorts. So a lot of that is the component itself. Last month it weighed 41.52 grams of product, and this month it weighs 41.04 grams of product for a volume decrease of 0.48 grams. I think that that's a lot. I think that might even maybe be more than I've seen in previous months. It might also be less. I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, I think it might be less. I don't know. I didn't use this a whole lot because I am currently also working with this that I have in my Shop My Stash, which is the Fenty Sculpt Stick, Fenty Match Stick in Amber. And I pulled that into my Shop My Stash because I wasn't sure if I still felt the same way about it that I do. And I actually have I remembered why I love that so much and why it's outlasted all of the declutters that I've had. So this kind of went on the back burner, but I am wearing it today. I do think that it's pretty, and I just need to give that matchstick a rest now and continue to work on this, because I think of the 19 days that I wore makeup this last month, I maybe wore this one 5 of those times. So if this is more than we're normally seeing, I honestly I would be shocked. And then the last thing that was rolled in January that still exists right now is the Ofra blush in Winter Rose. This has been the blush of my life for the last 2 years. Like, it was in my project pan last year as well, almost the entirety of the year, if not the entirety of the year. I can't remember. It is the blush that I feel like I have to use. I'm wearing it today over another blush because I feel like I have to use this blush. I do think that it's a little bit too rosy for this look that's a little bit too warm, I guess, for the look that's going on in my eyes today, but I had to get one more use on this. It also has a lot of like hard pan on it, and I do think that most of the use that I'm getting these days is me scratching the hard pan off the top of it. So I almost kind of wonder if it's even worth it anymore. But then I think, come on, Donna, you've only got, 5 more months of this. Just give it the good old effort and then get rid of it at the end of the year. But again, of the 19 times that I wore makeup this month, I think I maybe wore this maybe 5 or 6 times. Most of the wear that I'm getting out of this month over month is scraping off the hard pans. So this Ofra blush, when we put it into the project this year, it weighed 6.4 grams of product. Last month it weighed 5.95 grams of product, and this month it weighs 5.84 grams of product for a volume loss of 0.11 grams of product. I just don't know that it's worth it to me anymore to finish it. And I think this is the second month that I've said that. So like, really, do I just need to pull the plug or what? You guys tell me. Give me some thoughts down in the comments section. I would love to hear your input. I mean, I kind of just want the satisfaction of using it all up, but I feel like it's just not going to happen. I don't know. I don't know. All right, in March, we rolled in the Clinique Almost lipstick in Black Honey. We rolled it in at 12.75 grams of product. And last month it weighed 11.85 grams of product. This month it weighs 11.37 grams of product for a volume loss of 0.48 grams. And this is what we are looking like currently. And I think that this is fantastic because you can visually see that there is a lot of use out of this product in the time that I've had it in this project. I mean, it was used when it had been used when I first rolled it in, but I think we were sitting about here when we first rolled it in. And now if I roll it all the way down, it is sitting at probably about here in the component, which is so amazing. It gives me goosebumps thinking about all the effort that I've put into this. And the reason why this was placed into the project pan is because I had a backup. My Clinique partner had given me a new Black Honey Almost lipstick right before I was laid off. So I think it was like December time frame. And I had a backup and knew I needed to get one of them out of my collection so that I could open up the other one. So that is the only reason why this is in here. It's not because I don't like it. It's not because of any other reason except for that I had a second one. I am wearing it today. I think it's a beautiful lip color. I do think that it is a little bit more pinky than I anticipated it would be with the color of the lipstick, right? I wish it was just slightly less pink on me. I wish it was slightly more of this burgundy tone, but I do know that it's an almost lipstick. It's not like an opaque lipstick, so I do know that that's the reason why it shows up this way. So I just try and put a different like lip liner underneath it so it does appear a little bit more deep when I wear it. Typically, today I'm not, but again, we lost 0.48 grams of product in this one over the last month. I think that you can visually see the regression of this product, and I think that there was a ton of use between July and August, and the biggest reason why for that is because I just ended up putting it into my purse and using it all the time, which is something that I think that we talked about in the last update that I needed to do. So while I maybe used it 18 times, I also like reapplied it a lot. So in May, I rolled in 3 new products. So I rolled in the ColourPop lip liner in Oh Snap, and this is what this one looks like. This also was a product that had been used quite a bit in my collection. It's one of my favorite tones of lip liner. I am wearing it today. I try and wear it every single day. It goes really well under just about anything if you don't want to like change the color of the thing that you're putting on top of it, because it is like a My Lips but better kind of shade for me. It weighed 5.63 grams when we rolled it in. In May, it weighed 5.23 grams last month, and this month it weighs 4.66 grams for a volume difference of 0.57 grams. I think that that is amazing. Again, I wore makeup 19 times. I wore this at least those 19 times. It is something that I put on my lips every single day just because I know I can. It is, again, My Lips but better. I do think that I wore this more than 19 times though, because even when I didn't wear lipstick, I sometimes walked out of the house having put this on and forgot to put a gloss or a lipstick over the top of it. I'm really happy with the progress on that. You guys can see the progress on the like little picture tracker as well. There was quite a bit of difference between last month and this month, and I think that just is because I hard focused on that lip liner. The second thing that I rolled in May was the Ulta Beauty Matte Veil Eye Primer. And this is really easy for me to use also. Every time I'm wearing eye makeup, I am wearing this primer. This is what it looks like currently. You can see it is pretty flat. Bending it, the furthest down I'm able to get it bent is here. So that is where I have it marked, but I do think that there is a potential that there is far less in here than where it's marked there. That it's all just kind of sitting in here in the tip of it. And maybe I just can't bend it any further than that. That said, when it runs out, this is a product that I will replace. It's not in my project pan because I needed it gone. It's just in my project pan because I needed a new item. And this one, I believe, was on my plan to pan because I try and have a well-rounded plan to pan, and there wasn't an eye primer on there. This is my oldest eye primer, but honestly, eye primer is not something that I keep in my collection for years and years and years. Well, maybe. I guess my MAC paint pot might be one that's been in my collection for years and years and years, but this is one of my favorite eye primers, so it will be replaced when I am finished with this one. I don't have a problem with the number of eye primers I have in my collection. It's just in here because it's in here. I do think that it replaced the NYX glitter eye primer, and I sometimes get into this headspace where I think I need to replace one with another one that's the same kind of category. I think that's the only reason why this is in here. Super happy with the progress on that. You literally don't need very much every single time you use it. When we rolled it in here, it was still, you know, I mean, fairly full. So this is 3 months worth of product or progress, and there's just this little tiny bit. And I've worn makeup probably 60-ish times in those 3 months. So I think that's decent. I've used it 60 times total in this project. And we have went down 0.32 grams of product. Did I give you guys the weights yet? When we rolled it in, it weighed 12.34 grams of product. Last month it weighed 11.23 grams of product, and this month it weighs 10.91 grams of product. So we've went down 0.32 grams of product in the last month. We've went down 1.6 grams of product in the 3 months that it's been in the project pan. So I think that's about what I would expect for consistent use like that product gets. The last product that was rolled in May was my Too Faced Le Creme Nude Beach, and I'm so excited about this because if I'm able to finish this, which I do think it's possibility that I can have, this is another one of those products that I think could be gone next month. This will be like the first lipstick, maybe the second, but I literally think maybe the first lipstick that I would have to go back through all of my Project Pan spreadsheets, and I don't have spreadsheets on every Project Pan year that I've done. I think I only have spreadsheets since 2021, but maybe I do. I don't know. Man, I am like squirreling today. I think this would be my first lipstick that I've ever Project Panned. So I am really excited about this. The Too Faced Le Creme lipstick in Nude Beach rolled in May with 14.6 grams of product. Last month it had 14.28 grams of product. This month it has 13.91 grams of product for a volume loss of 0.37 grams in the last 30 days. And this is what it looks like. I mean, it is just a little tiny nubbin. It is just so little baby. I wish I could have come to you with this finished today, but I just couldn't do it. I was going to put it on today, but I just don't think that it's the right color for the look that I have today, but maybe it would have cooled down this Clinique Almost Honey. Who knows? It's just very pink. I don't do very, very pink very, very often or very, very well, to be honest with you. I was using this as a cream blush when I first rolled it in here, so it did see a lot of use in that first month, but then I just started using it as lipstick because I found that I really actually appreciate it on my lips. It looks very nice, kind of pouty, really almost like a pinkish tone of concealer lips, and I really kind of dig it. So I have been using it in that way for the most part, but this last month I did use it as a cream blush also a couple times when I wasn't putting any makeup on my face except for the cream blush and a lip gloss or like an eyeliner with no eyeshadow, those kind of things. So this did see a lot of use last month. I don't know if it's any more or less than it was in previous months, but I really did think that I was going to come to you with this empty this month as I saw it just go down and down and down in the size of it. I was like, oh, we've almost got a lipstick empty. So that said, that is a product that I think we could see gone next month. We will see. We will see. In June, I did roll in the LOC Shadow Stick. This was rolled in. I can't remember why this was rolled in. I can't remember what we were replacing with this, but I did empty an LOC Shadow Stick last year. It took me about 4 months to empty that LOC Shadow Stick, and I used it often as not only like the inner corner shadow stick, but brow bone all over the lid, but I also used it as a highlight on my face, and I loved it in that way. But again, it took me about 4 months. This has only been in, this is now the second month. I do think that I anticipate this will be done by the December update for sure. I hope. But I mean, when I marked it this month, it doesn't feel like it went down hardly at all. And I used it so many times. I think I used it probably 12 of the 19 times this last month. But again, if I'm just using it for inner corner, it's just not getting a whole lot of use. I sharpened it right before I measured it, and even with that sharpen right before I measured it, it just didn't go down a whole hell of a lot. So that kind of puts me in place where I'm feeling a little bit like, oh my gosh, it's not going to be gone by the end of December, but who knows. It weighed 27.25 grams at roll-in. It weighed 26.83 grams last month, and this month it's weighing 26.46 grams for a total volume loss of, again, 0.37 grams of product. And I just don't feel like that's enough to see in the future that this is going to be gone by the end of December. The other one I used I think quite a bit more and quite a bit more easily than I do this one, because of the color of it. The last one was in Champagne Problems, and it was more of a lighter, like champagne-y beigey nude, right? So it was easier to wear as a highlight or an inner corner highlight with just about anything, right? Because of just the color of it. This one is kind of pink and peachy. I have to have a cool tone eye look for it to look really good on the inner corner. I also have to have kind of a warm eye look for it to look really good as a highlight. So it's just not as easy to use as the Champagne Problems one was, and I keep having to remind myself of that because that is why I was able to get through the Champagne Problems one as fast as I did. I got both of those in a FabFitFun, and I have to say, like, I'm not mad at having got those. I remember having gotten those and actually putting them into my giveaway drawer at some point in time because I was like, I don't know anything about this brand and probably won't use these, but I really did like Champagne Problems, and I really do like this one too. They're nice and creamy without going all over the place, and when they set down, even though they're as creamy as they are, when they are done and they're set down in wherever it is that you've manipulated them to be, they stay forever. And I like that they don't also like really exacerbate any kind of texture, so that's really nice. Last month we were only able to roll in one product, and this is one product that's on my plan to pan, but a product that if I did not have it in this kind of project, it would not see use at all because I just don't use powders like a lot of people do. So I rolled in the Cover FX powder. This is just a translucent setting powder in light, and I rolled this in at 9.76 grams last month, and this month it's 9.60 grams. So we saw a volume loss of 0.16 grams of product, and I am actually quite shocked because I don't wear powder very often. I think I wore powder maybe 3 times out of the several times that I wore makeup this last month. That said, I do think that there's an awful lot of waste that happens with this product because it is a sample, so it's really, really tiny. And even though it's got this like lid, right, to keep the powder thing covered, which is really convenient, even with that, I still have to dump a ton of it out onto a palette in order to be able to use it. So there is a ton of waste with this product. So that 0.16 grams of product in 3 uses, I feel like it's astronomical, but I know why that's happening. So at the end of the day, I usually use that pile of powder that I'm having to like get out of this component, you know, twice or 3 times as often as I can. But I do know that there's quite a bit of waste that's also happening because of the way I have to dump it out in order to be able to use it. So I just think that if they're going to give you samples of powder, they need to be in larger components than this, or in some kind of like way that you can actually get, like, I mean, it's even hard for me to get my puff in here without getting a mass amount of powder and then having to kick that off on my hand or whatever. There's just so much waste with it. It drives me bonkers, but I'm really happy to see that there was a little bit of use with it. So that said, like I said at the beginning, there's no roll outs this month, therefore no new roll ins. But I do think that we saw some exciting movement in the numbers. I do think that this will be gone next month. I think I mean, I hesitate to say that because let's be honest, look at all the little tally marks on here. And this is a foundation that several of those tally marks were there for a couple months because I couldn't move the mark on this at all. This is like the never ending foundation, and when I am looking for a skin tint in the future, like this will be the only one I purchase because I know it works, doesn't go anywhere once it's on. I actually quite love the finish of it, and because I've gotten my money's worth out of this for sure. So I just will buy a different color because this is definitely not my color. But I do think that this could be gone next month, but then again, hesitate to say that because of all the tally marks on it. And I know that it is the never ending foundation. I also think that this could be gone next month. This little itty bitty teeny tiny lipstick that continues to surprise me that I'm as enamored by it as I am currently. I'd like to hear you guys' thoughts on the blush, but I think that we could see those two gone next month. This will be gone within the next couple months. I think this will be gone. Definitely these two things will be gone by the end of the year. I'm hoping that this also will be gone by the end of the year. I think we're looking at just, you know, a few more products that this one might be gone by the end of the year as well. It does seem to be going a lot more quickly than it has in the past. So at the end of the year, we will likely be left with the blush, the lip treatment, and the powder. That is the only things that I wasn't able to complete in this project, which I can't say I'm mad at, but I also know I'm really excited to see some of these products. Just bye-bye. See you later, alligator. Let me know what your thoughts and opinions are. I would be sure glad to hear from you guys down in the comments section. If you have a project pan running on your channel, please let me know. I'd love to come and watch it. I love project panning videos, so there's that. I have 3 of them that are going on my channel, so I'd love to come support your channel. So let me know if you have a project pan that I'm not watching that I could watch. And with that said, I hope that you guys are well. I hope that you are all safe, healthy, getting along as best that you can. I hope that you're all loving each other, being kind humans, and living your best life. And I hope that you enjoyed the video. And until next time, bye friends.